10 ways to win every day. Winning every day isn't about competing with others. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday. Too often, we think success is measured by how much we earn, how much we achieve, or how many people notice us. But Simon Sinek reminds us that true victory lies in consistency, purpose, and the small decisions that shape who we become. Every day offers us a chance to grow, to lead with intention, and to find meaning in what we do. When you wake up with a sense of why, not just what or how, you begin to build momentum that turns ordinary days into extraordinary progress. Winning isn't a one-time event, it's a daily practice of choosing growth over comfort, courage over fear, and discipline over doubt. Before you check your phone or rush into your tasks, take a moment to ask yourself why you're doing what you do. Purpose gives power to your actions. When your day begins with clarity of purpose, challenges feel smaller and work becomes meaningful. The strongest leaders and most fulfilled people don't wake up to chase success. They wake up to live their why. Let your reason drive your routine. You don't need to win the whole race today. Just move one step forward. Simon Sinek teaches that growth happens when we focus on improving, not impressing. Every small step counts. When you stop comparing your journey to others, you start seeing how far you've come. Celebrate progress, learn from mistakes, and remember, consistency beats intensity every time. Winning in life means earning trust from others and from yourself. You can't inspire people by talking about what you'll do, you inspire them by doing it. Be reliable, show up on time, and keep your promises. Whether in your team, family, or friendships, consistency builds confidence. Trust is the currency of leadership, and it's earned one honest action at a time. Before you close your eyes, look back and ask, what did I learn today? Whom did I help? What am I grateful for? Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Gratitude keeps your heart aligned with purpose. Even on hard days, there's always a reason to be thankful. A lesson learned, a connection made, or a challenge overcome. When you end your day with gratitude, you prepare your mind to begin tomorrow with strength. Every morning is a blank page. The moment you open your eyes, life hands you a pen and asks, what will you write today? Most people rush into the day without thought, checking messages, chasing deadlines, reacting to whatever comes. But those who truly win each day begin with purpose. Simon Sinek's philosophy, start with why, teaches that before doing anything, you must understand why you do it. Your why gives meaning to your actions, focus to your mind, and energy to your heart. When you start each morning asking yourself, why am I doing this? You shift from living on autopilot to living intentionally. Purpose isn't just motivation, it's direction. When your why is clear, discipline becomes easier. You no longer rely on willpower alone. You're driven by meaning. Think about it, people who exercise daily, work passionately, or lead with consistency aren't powered by habit alone. They are fueled by a belief, a reason greater than comfort. When you know why you get up in the morning, even difficult days make sense. The person who wakes up for a paycheck tires quickly. The person who wakes up to make a difference never loses energy. That's the power of starting with why. It transforms work into mission and effort into fulfillment. Too often, people confuse being busy with being productive. They fill their calendars, but not their hearts. They chase results, but forget reasons. Without a clear why, success feels empty, like climbing a mountain and realizing you chose the wrong one. Simon Sinek reminds us that great leaders, companies, and individuals don't start with what they do, they start with why they do it. That inner clarity not only gives purpose, but also inspires others. When your actions come from a place of meaning, people notice. They follow not because they have to, but because they believe in what you believe. Starting your day with why doesn't require hours of meditation or journaling. It begins with a simple reflection. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What values will guide me? Whose life can I impact? These questions reframe your mindset. Instead of reacting to the world, you create your own direction. Imagine how differently your day unfolds when you decide, before stepping out of bed, that your purpose is to lead with kindness, to work with integrity, or to learn something new. That awareness anchors your actions and intention. Purpose is like the compass of your soul. Without it, you may move fast, but in circles. With it, even slow progress feels right. Every great invention, every movement, every story of change began with a clear why. The Wright brothers didn't invent flight because they wanted fame. They wanted to change how humanity moved. Steve Jobs didn't build Apple just to sell computers. He believed in challenging the status quo. When your day begins with belief, not obligation, even small tasks gain meaning. That's how ordinary work becomes extraordinary impact. But clarity of purpose doesn't come once. It's a daily choice. You must renew your why every morning. Life has a way of clouding our vision with noise, stress, and comparison. If you don't consciously reconnect with your reason, the world will distract you with other people's purposes. That's why reflection each morning matters. It's not about motivation quotes or caffeine. It's about remembering who you are and what you stand for. Purpose keeps you grounded when life gets chaotic. It reminds you that even the smallest step, taken with intention, is a victory. Many people think starting with why means having everything figured out. It doesn't. You don't need a perfect plan, just an honest reason. Simon Sinek often says, "People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it." The same applies to life. You don't have to know every detail of your journey, you just have to know what drives you. That belief will attract the right people, opportunities, and energy. When you live from your why, you radiate clarity, and clarity inspires trust. The beauty of starting with why is that it transforms challenges into purpose-driven opportunities. When problems arise, you don't see them as obstacles, you see them as tests of your mission. If your why is strong, no setback can stop you. A teacher who lives to empower students won't quit after one difficult day. A leader who believes in serving people won't fold under pressure. Purpose doesn't eliminate pain. It gives it meaning. It turns struggle into strength and effort into progress. That's why the most resilient people always begin their day by remembering their why. Let's imagine two people facing the same morning. One wakes up tired, scrolling through social media, reacting to notifications, rushing to survive another day. The other wakes up, breathes deeply, and reminds themselves, "Today, I will move closer to my vision. I will serve, learn, and grow." The second person doesn't have more time or luck, just more clarity. Their day becomes intentional, and that intention attracts results. Starting with why doesn't change the world instantly, but it changes how you show up in it. And that changes everything. So tomorrow morning, before the world demands your attention, take a moment for your purpose. Ask yourself, why do I do what I do? What kind of legacy am I building today? Don't chase success, pursue significance. Don't aim to win against others, win within yourself. When you start with why every morning, you awaken not just your body but your soul. You stop existing and start living. You stop surviving and start creating. That's how you win. Not once, but every single day. Perfection is an illusion that stops more dreams than failure ever could. We wait for the right time, the perfect plan, or the flawless version of ourselves. And in doing so, we lose momentum. Simon Sinek reminds us that success isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Every great achievement is built on small, imperfect steps. The people who win in life are not those who do everything right, but those who refuse to stop moving forward. When you shift your mindset from perfection to progress, you free yourself from fear and open yourself to growth. Progress is real, measurable, and empowering. Perfection is just a mirage. Every day is an opportunity to move one step closer to who you want to become. That step might be small, messy, or even uncomfortable. But it counts. Simon Sinek often says, "Dream big, start small, but most of all start." The problem is, most people never start because they're waiting for everything to be ideal. They're afraid to look foolish, to make mistakes, to fail in public. But progress demands humility. It requires the courage to take action before you feel ready. The goal isn't to be the best today, it's to be better than you were yesterday. That mindset changes everything. When you focus on progress, failure becomes a teacher instead of a threat. Every mistake gives you data, information about what works and what doesn't. Perfectionists hide from mistakes, but progress seekers study them. Simon Sinek believes that learning is the most powerful form of growth, and you can't learn without risk. Look at any successful leader or innovator. Their journey is full of trial and error. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They created progress out of imperfection. You grow stronger not by avoiding failure, but by confronting it and asking, what did this teach me? Perfection is often rooted in fear. Fear of judgment, fear of disappointment, fear of not being enough. But the truth is, you will never be enough if your measure of worth is perfection. The antidote to that fear is progress. Progress says, I am learning. Progress says, I am improving. Progress gives you permission to be human. Simon Sinek teaches that leadership and growth come from vulnerability, from the willingness to say, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn. That's how trust is built, and that's how real transformation begins. In a world obsessed with results, it takes courage to value effort. We're taught to celebrate outcomes, promotions, awards, milestones, but not the quiet discipline that makes them possible. Progress is found in the process. It's the late night practice, the extra page you write, the small act of kindness no one sees. It's doing your best when no one is watching. Simon Sinek reminds us that people who focus on progress don't chase recognition, they chase improvement. That's why they last longer, inspire deeper, and achieve more meaningful success. Focusing on progress also builds resilience. When you aim for perfection, one setback can destroy your confidence. But when you aim for progress, every setback becomes part of the journey. You start to see life as a series of iterations, not failures. Each challenge becomes a test that refines you. Think of progress like a spiral. You may feel like you're going in circles, but every turn takes you higher. The path to mastery is rarely straight. It's full of lessons, adjustments, and second chances. The key is to keep showing up. Simon Sinek often says that the best leaders create environments where it's safe to fail. Why? Because innovation only thrives where progress is valued more than perfection. If people fear mistakes, they stop experimenting, and without experimentation, there's no evolution. The same is true for your own life. If you only act when you're certain, you'll miss every opportunity that begins with uncertainty. Progress requires permission to be imperfect. It means allowing yourself to try, to learn, and to grow, without the pressure of flawless results. Progress also nurtures gratitude. When you measure your growth instead of your gaps, you begin to see how far you've come. Every step forward, no matter how small, deserves acknowledgement. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's moving. Simon Sinek reminds us that fulfillment doesn't come from reaching the top. It comes from realizing how much you've grown on the way up. When you pause to appreciate your progress, you fuel your motivation to keep going. Gratitude keeps you humble and hungry at the same time. Think about a craftsman who works day after day, improving one detail at a time. The world may not notice his progress, but he does. He knows mastery isn't a moment, it's a movement. It's the slow, patient pursuit of excellence. The same is true for you. Every time you push yourself to grow, every time you refuse to quit, you're creating progress. Simon Sinek teaches that consistency is far more powerful than intensity. You don't have to take giant leaps. Just keep walking with purpose. That steady rhythm of improvement builds confidence that no failure can shake. So, focus on progress, not perfection. Wake up each morning asking, how can I be a little better than I was yesterday? Don't let the fear of imperfection hold you back from starting. Every masterpiece begins as a rough draft. Every leader begins as a learner. Every winner begins as a beginner. Progress is how you win every day, not by doing everything right, but by doing something meaningful. As Simon Sinek would say, the goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to get better. Because in the end, progress isn't just about achievement. It's about becoming the person you were meant to be. Trust is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. In leadership, business, and life, without it, teams crumble, friendships fade, and progress stalls. Simon Sinek reminds us that trust isn't something we demand, it's something we earn. You can't build it by making promises, you build it by keeping them. Every word you say plants a seed, but it's your actions that make it grow. People might listen to what you say, but they will always believe what you do. The most powerful leaders don't need to shout their values, they live them. Real trust isn't declared, it's demonstrated. Every day gives you a choice to talk about who you are or to prove it. The world is filled with people who speak about integrity, loyalty, and leadership, but few who show it through behavior. Simon Sinek teaches that trust is built slowly and lost quickly. It's earned through consistency, not charisma. Anyone can say the right thing once, but real trust comes from doing the right thing again and again, even when no one is watching. When your actions match your words, people don't just follow you, they believe in you. Leaders who win every day are those who understand that credibility is their greatest currency. It doesn't matter how talented you are if people can't depend on you. Trust is the glue that holds teams together and the light that guides relationships through uncertainty. It's the quiet confidence others have that you'll show up, tell the truth, and keep your word. Simon Sinek often says, trust is built on the small things. It's being on time, it's keeping a promise, it's taking responsibility when things go wrong. These moments might seem minor, but they build a reputation that speaks louder than any speech. Actions have a ripple effect. When you consistently do what you say, you create psychological safety, a space where people feel comfortable taking risks, speaking up, and being honest. That's the secret behind every great team. People don't give their best because they're told to. They give their best because they trust that their efforts matter. Simon Sinek calls this the circle of safety, a culture where trust replaces fear. When you act with integrity, you give others permission to do the same. Trust, once built, multiplies. The hardest time to act with integrity is when no one is looking. But that's when it matters most. Anyone can be honest when it's easy. Character is proven when it's hard. True leaders act with consistency even when there's no reward, no recognition, and no audience, because they understand that trust isn't about convenience, it's about conviction. Simon Sinek often says, leadership is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in your charge. When people see that your actions come from care, not ego, they trust you with their loyalty. Words are easy, behavior takes courage. You can say you care about people, but do you listen to them? You can claim you value honesty, but do you tell the truth when it's uncomfortable? You can say you want growth, but do you put in the effort every day? Simon Sinek's message is simple: trust grows where words and actions meet. Every time you act in alignment with your values, you strengthen your credibility. Every time you don't, you weaken it. People may forgive your mistakes, but they will not forget inconsistency. Trust isn't built overnight, it's built over time through the power of reliability. It's showing up even when you're tired. It's delivering what you promised even when it's inconvenient. It's admitting when you're wrong, instead of pretending you're perfect. Simon Sinek reminds us that humility is a critical part of trust. When you admit your flaws and take responsibility, people respect you more. They see you as human, and being human builds connection. Trust doesn't require perfection, it requires authenticity. In leadership, words can motivate, but only actions inspire. People don't follow leaders for their speeches, they follow them because of how they make them feel. When someone consistently acts with integrity, others feel safe, valued, and seen. That's the true mark of influence. Simon Sinek often uses military examples to explain this principle. Soldiers don't follow orders because of rank, they follow because of trust. They trust that their leaders would put their people before themselves. When actions communicate care, loyalty naturally follows. Building trust through actions also transforms how you see yourself. Each time you keep a promise, your confidence grows. Each time you act with honesty, your self-respect strengthens. Trust isn't just external, it's internal. The most powerful form of trust is the one you have in yourself. When you know you can count on your own integrity, you stop doubting your worth. You start walking with quiet confidence. Not arrogance, but certainty. As Simon Sinek says, the goal is not to be perfect, but to be trustworthy. That's the foundation of leadership and fulfillment. So, if you want to win every day, start by aligning your words with your actions. Speak less and do more. Don't tell people who you are. Show them. Let your consistency become your message. Build a reputation rooted in reliability, empathy, and honesty. Because at the end of the day, people don't remember what you promised. They remember how you made them feel. Trust is built through action, through the courage to live your values, even when it's hard. And when you lead with that kind of authenticity, you don't just win people's attention, you win their belief. The way you end your day is just as important as how you start it. Most people close their eyes exhausted, scrolling through their phones or worrying about tomorrow. But the ones who win each day end it with gratitude and reflection. Simon Sinek teaches that fulfillment doesn't come from how much we achieve. It comes from how much meaning we find in what we do. Gratitude grounds us, and reflection guides us. When you take a few minutes each night to look back, not with judgment, but with curiosity, you transform every day into a lesson. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to grow a little wiser with every sunset. Gratitude is a simple act that creates profound change. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's meaningful. Simon Sinek often reminds us that the human brain is wired to look for danger, problems, and flaws. But gratitude rewires that instinct. When you consciously focus on what went right, who helped you, and what you learned, you train your mind to see abundance instead of lack. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging progress even in imperfection. Gratitude doesn't erase struggle. It gives struggle purpose. Reflection, on the other hand, is what turns experience into wisdom. You can go through hundreds of days without ever growing if you never stop to reflect. Simon Sinek says, experience doesn't make you wiser. Evaluated experience does. Each night, ask yourself 3 simple questions. What did I learn today? Whom did I help? What am I grateful for? These small reflections keep you aligned with your values. They remind you that even ordinary days carry extraordinary lessons if you take time to notice them. Reflection turns your daily actions into intentional growth. When you end your day with gratitude and reflection, you silence the noise of self-criticism. Many people go to bed thinking about what they didn't do, the tasks unfinished, the mistakes made, the opportunities missed. But that mindset only drains your energy for tomorrow. Gratitude rebalances that. It reminds you that even if you didn't do everything right, you still did something meaningful. Simon Sinek teaches that fulfillment comes not from doing more, but from appreciating what matters most. When you close your day with thankfulness, you rest with peace, not pressure. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. It's easy to take people for granted, colleagues, friends, family, until you pause to reflect on their role in your day. A message of thanks, a kind word, or even silent appreciation can rebuild connections. Simon Sinek often emphasizes that leadership is about making people feel valued. When you recognize others' efforts, you build trust and loyalty. Ending your day by thinking, who made a difference in my life today, changes how you show up tomorrow. Gratitude multiplies when shared, and reflection reminds you who deserves it. Reflection also reveals your blind spots. When you look back on your day, you notice patterns, habits that serve you, and those that hold you back. Maybe you reacted impatiently in a meeting or ignored a small opportunity to help someone. Reflection isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. Simon Sinek believes that self-awareness is the foundation of leadership. You can't lead others until you understand yourself. When you take time to learn from your daily actions, you start seeing how your choices shape your future. Growth begins where reflection becomes honest. Ending your day with gratitude also protects your energy. Life is full of stress, goals unmet, people misunderstood, moments gone wrong. Gratitude doesn't erase those realities, but it stops them from defining you. Simon Sinek reminds us that perspective changes everything. When you focus on what's good, your challenges feel smaller and your purpose feels bigger. A grateful heart doesn't deny pain, it balances it with perspective. Gratitude is like a lens. It doesn't change what you see, but it changes how you see it. That shift brings calm, clarity, and strength for the next day. Reflecting daily also keeps your vision alive. When you take a moment to review your day, you remind yourself of your why. It's easy to get lost in routine and forget the bigger purpose behind your actions. Simon Sinek's philosophy centers on this. When you remember why you do what you do, every day becomes meaningful, even the hard ones. Reflection connects your small steps to your larger mission. It helps you see that progress isn't random. It's the result of consistent, intentional effort. Gratitude keeps you humble, reflection keeps you focused, and together they keep you moving forward. One of the most powerful things Simon Sinek teaches is that leadership and life are infinite games. There is no finish line, no winning moment that ends the journey. The goal is to keep improving, keep contributing, keep growing. Ending your day with gratitude and reflection honors that infinite mindset. It's not about closing a chapter with perfection. It's about carrying the lessons forward. You don't need every day to be amazing. You just need to make every day count. Reflection makes sure no experience is wasted, and gratitude ensures none of it is taken for granted. So, as the day ends and the world quiets, take a few deep breaths. Set down your worries and lift your awareness. Ask yourself, what went well today? What can I do better tomorrow? Who made this day meaningful? Let gratitude be the final thought that enters your mind. Let reflection guide you to sleep with peace and wake up with purpose. Winning every day doesn't mean never falling. It means learning every time you do. And when you end each day with gratitude and reflection, you build not just success, but significance. Because a grateful heart and a reflective mind never stop growing.